not doing this with you. I'm not finna cry on this camera. I'm not doing it. You literally are taking a I was so
sick. We unpacking childhood traumas and shit.
Baby.
Whew, okay. Oh,
I just can't believe you watched This Is Us in there.
I was so dumb. That was so dumb. And I know better.
You do. Alright. Well, I guess we're just gonna do it.
Welcome to another episode of
Just Talking with Lisa.
Oh my God.
What?
Like you just need training.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. I cannot get that.
Oh.
My voice will crack.
Really? Hey, and welcome back to episode 5 of Just Talking with Lisa Love and CJ. I'm CJ.
And I'm Lisa Love.
And
Yep.
we're doing it.
We're doing episode 5 of MoonKnight.
Baby.
Spoiler alert!
Right, spoiler alert. Get ready for these tears. Trigger alerts because
have your therapist on speed dial, baby. Because we're unpacking childhood family trauma.
Woohoo! That was a lot. Well, any news?
Well, we went on a Morbius rant last week.
Yeah.
We saw Morbius.
We saw it so that you don't have to.
Yes. You know what? Let's just go squeeze this in.
Yeah, let's go get into it because I was pissed.
So I don't think we need to discuss that. But we are going to buy our tickets in the next 24 hours for Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. So that is definitely going to happen. Mm-hmm. We are definitely going to go see that movie.
Yeah.
Within the first week of it being released.
Yes, that's our goal. We're going to do it.
Yes.
We got it.
They released the Thor trailer. We talked about that already. And
Illuminati's in this one. They released like the last new trailer, I think. They said Illuminati. They name dropped the Illuminati.
The Illuminati?
Yes, they said the Illuminati. You know the guy with the little Tyler Perry wig? He said, welcome to the thing. That whole thing with Professor X and stuff, it was the Illuminati.
I'm not gonna watch the trailer.
Okay, yeah, so don't do it. But yeah, apparently, like, it's the whole thing. Sorry.
I'm not gonna watch. I don't like to watch like the full cinematic trailers, unless I'm in the movies, because that's gonna gives away too much. Even though Marvel is really good at cutting their trailers to not give away the story. Yeah. It's just because they'll misdirect you with the trailer, and then you go in one way, and because baby, nobody saw Infinity Wars coming. It was like, oh, we gonna fight this man with the nutsack chin, and then it was like, ha ha, he won. What the?
I'm crying.
We've been winning every movie. It was like, not this one. Losers. Everybody died. Hey. Even the children, they did not care.
Boom. I'm sorry.
She's recovering.
Yeah, this is fine.
I currently feel like crap. Don't look at we don't look like what we've been through.
You know.
Face card never declines.
Hurry. Well,
let's just get into it.
Yeah. Last episode we left off we found Amit's tomb. Steven did a good job. I want to be really positive about Steven.
But I know why.
Yeah, but considering everything.
It's fake.
Steven did a good job of finding Amit's whatever they call the thing, the little tattoo, the little avatar little statue thing. Found it. Harrow decided, aka Arthur, I'm gonna pop. Shot him down. And we ended up in the space that looked like an asylum. And we left off with the hippo.
Yep.
And everybody's screaming and freaking out.
Speaking of Asylum, that was the name of the episode.
Look at you.
It was named Asylum.
Boom. Well, let's Dive in. So first scene of the show showed a cave. You hear a little boy yelling and screaming, and a woman saying it's your fault.
Yes.
So then all of a sudden we cut back to the asylum. We're with Steven, Mark, and Arthur. And Hippo. It was like the first. It was very like back and forth.
Yeah, this juxtaposition of we with the hippo and we're in the afterlife, but then it was like, no, we're back in Dr. Harrow's office and we're a patient in the mental hospital. It was like, I have a theory about that, but you go ahead.
All right. So we're back in. So like I said, we left off with the hippo. Now we back in the office with Dr. Harrow, aka Arthur. All right. Arthur says that they're in the Putnam Medical Facility in Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, they
good. And he was explaining to Mark, because we're Mark right now, that you created this fantasy on your own, and you're doing everything and anything possible not to look within. And then we kind of cut back to Mark and Steven and the hippo screaming again. And then finally we learn, which I can preface that before we dive into like that. So we learned that the hippo is named Tawet.
Well, you know, it's hard because Steven has that horrible accent. And then he kind of talks a little bit more juvenile, which we know why. But yeah. He was like, you're Tawet. It was like something like that. I reversed it a couple times, still couldn't really make it out.
And so Tawet is the goddess of women and children. And they learned that they're in the intersexual plane, aka the afterlife. And then what I also thought was fun, a little fun little gem, was that they said the ancestral plane. See, you know how we didn't say, if you know something, then we know nothing, because we know something
today.
Boom.
Today,
Boom.
We know something. We know all about this trauma, this unpacking, but the main thing we knew was a Black Panther reference.
Baby, Wakanda forever. Okay. So,
because it was beautiful.
It was.
And I am like a 9,000% sure that the color grading that they used for that whole night sky scene was stolen completely from Ryan Coogler and them. Because I don't know who did that. But Ryan Coogler and them over there in Wakanda.
So we did that. Boom. I skipped like as I was getting excited or whatever. Okay, what we also learned when we were in the office with Dr. Harrow was that he talked about how the struggling mind often seeks different aspects of self from out from traumas, and essentially it's called an organizing principle. So we learned a lot about mental health this episode too.
Yes, and they really did. Like, it was a lot of foreshadowing.
Yes.
In the episode. And you kind of knew what was going to happen, but not really, because like the comics are not necessarily diving into the mental health aspect. Yeah. But like, so our girl Tweet, that's what I've been calling her.
I like that.
So Tweet, she was like, this is doo-wop.
Doo-wop.
And then, of course, Steven got excited. Ooh, this is the Egyptian underworld. I know what this is. And then Steven and TT had, Tweet, had a good old British chat off.
Yeah, they did.
With their little British accents. And then she's like, you dead. And I was like, oh, he is dead. I mean,
he was just crazy.
He did not get shot in the head.
No.
And you can live with a gunshot wound even if it hit your lung.
Right.
I know some folks. But I was like, okay, interesting. Because my main thoughts at the beginning of the episode was that why we all screaming? Right. And I wrote down Putnam like you did, and I was like, even in this hallucination, Arthur's still shady.
Baby. Okay, pause. Let's think about that. Why do you think he chose Arthur to be his doctor?
I think Arthur did tell him the truth. And for lack of better judgment, even people who don't trust doctors, when they do go to a doctor, they trust in them to tell them the truth. But the funny thing is that most of the time, doctors are just researchers. Yeah. They're not actually practicing medicine unless they're doing surgery and stuff. They're researchers. They're just, like, I don't want to say glorified, but they're just, like, heavily indebted, highly insured researchers. Yeah. Who sometimes have to do a lot of practical application, but most of the time the work goes on the nurses to actually keep you alive. Yeah. Mom's a nurse. But, I thought maybe he chose Arthur because Arthur shot him, but Arthur has always come to him from a sense of like, I've been where you are, and I am trying to avoid you from going through what I went through. Because even Arthur said when he was talking to Kansu, you broke me so much. And he could see that Steven was broke. He probably researched Mark as well. Yeah. Because he had followers in the police force. So they probably actually went through his whole family history. So he probably knew all of this going into this all those conversations. Yeah. I
mean, his first question to him was like, were you already broken or did he break you? You know what I mean? And it was like, ooh.
Yeah. And I think we all knew that Mark was already broken. Ooh. But the depths in which he was broken, that really hurt my feelings. But let's move on.
So we learn about where we are. We know we're in the afterlife. Essentially, now before we dive into like the traumas and like Mark's like backstory and stuff, let's talk about what's the issue at play. We still trying to get back up there to Earth. Yes. To fix other problems. Yes. Because life is still happening. They did remind us of that because, you know, Mark is like, oh, let's go through this door. And then he finds out they're on the boat.
Yeah, because at first, I mean, based on how they did the cuts, you don't know what to believe. Yeah. And so the reason, this is my theory on that. Okay. The cutting back and forth between the conversation with Tweet and the conversation with Arthur is that I feel like it was his brain trying to reconcile the imbalancing. So he was going back and forth between two different realities, trying to process the fact that he was dead, but also now he has to come to terms with everything. And I think so it was like, okay, when one reality got a little too hard, I'll go over here and pretend I'm in the psych ward. Yeah. When the psych ward got too real, I'm going to go back over here and pretend to be with the God. It's like, it was all about Mark not choosing himself. Every time, because it was like we would go back and forth between him and Steve because he's out of balance. So I'm jumping ahead, but so I think that's why they did the cuts. It was to make you feel a little disoriented because he was disoriented. Yeah, I think once again, which they did not do my theory. I thought like the further we went through the season, the less directly involved we would feel. We've been in their seat the whole time. We've been in Mark and Steven's seat this whole series time, which is an interesting take, but I like it. Yeah, until I didn't, baby.
Well, we learned that we are going to. Oh, okay. So in order for them to get off the boat, in a good way or a negative way, there's a positive and negative. Positive way is that once Kwee, right?
Tweet,
my bad. Tweet takes their hearts out. It has the balance on the scale versus the feather of truth. Yes. And they can go into, what do they call it? The field of reeds? Aru. There you go, Aru. And they can have eternal peace. Fun. But if they don't balance their hearts out by the end of this boat ride, they gonna stay in this realm and be frozen in sand forever.
Yeah. Realm of the dead.
So she's telling them, you're going to have to go through all Mark's traumas and y'all going to stop lying to each other and really put the truth out there so you can balance your heart. Yeah. And thus we begin.
Thus begin the work.
First memory, we go into that room full of dead people. We learned Mark has killed a lot of people in the name of Kansu.
Well, before we got there, we peeked into a room and we saw Mark at a street looking up at a window.
Yes.
And Steven was like, what is that street?
Yeah.
And Mark was like, don't worry about that.
Don't do it.
And I was like, well, Mark, I guess we're just going to spend the whole episode avoiding this.
Yeah. And we're gonna leave it at them.
Yep.
Just like they did it, we're going to leave it there. Because we already know Mark is not trying to tell Steven a lot of things already. But what he was willing to show him was his relationship, which I would say throughout the whole episode, he was more willing to show his relationship with Kansu.
Yeah.
And so we learned that he's killed people in New York, Dubai, and Tabin. Those are like the 3 places he named. And I thought that was very interesting. They put an emphasis on all 3. But he has killed multiple people.
It was a room full of people. And Steven was like, why are all these people dead?
Because they were murderers.
And then
rapists.
He was like, why you think? Like, and then Steven was like, all of them? And I'm like,
he's like, you ever take a life?
My sweet baby. He's like, you remember their name? You remember them? And he was like, yeah. When you take somebody's life, you don't forget that.
Yeah.
You don't forget them. You remember each and every one.
Yeah. And he said that he wanted them to kill him before he did it to them.
Yeah.
I was like,
which is even sadder when you find out why.
So, yeah. And so then peeps a little boy in the corner. And Steven asks, why is there a little boy in here in a room
full of people that you've killed?
And thus we follow the little boy. Steven locks Mark's out of his own memory.
Yes.
And we meet Mark's family.
Which looked like a very normal family. Yeah. His mother was loving and see you later.
Right.
See you later, alligator.
Right.
After a while, crocodile. Very corny suburban family. Dad wears glasses.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Mark has
a little brother.
A little brother. Who we never get his real name. We just Roro.
Roro.
So we see Mark and Roro as children.
Yeah. Oh, and they're referencing that movie we saw last episode.
Yes.
With Dr. Stephen Grant.
Yes, and we find out where the accent came from.
That's right.
So the accent was something Mark did when he played with his brother, referencing that movie that we saw in the asylum on repeat. So that was Stephen Grant, and that's where the Stephen Grant name came from, in the horrible accent that Kristen despises.
Yes. It's gone.
Then things take a turn because...
Well, okay. We learned they like to play in the cave. Normally they go play in the cave. Just an everyday thing they like to do. They decide to go play in the cave for the day. But Roro says it's about to begin to rain. Yes. And he said, Mom says we shouldn't play in the cave when it rains. But, Mark insisted, like kids do.
Yeah.
And
Roro's his little brother, so he's going to follow his big brother.
Exactly.
And then Steven, as he's following the boys through this memory, you remember Steven's the nerd.
Yeah.
He sees the fossils of some dead animal because he steps on it. And he was like, oh no, because I guess he could see that the sediment had washed away. So that's what my guess. I don't know.
Why just thought the water was just rising?
Well, no, he stepped on some bones first before the water started going really bad.
Okay. Well, Steven, of course, is following them, and then he's trying to tell them no, don't do it, get out. The water's rising. It's getting intense. And Mark makes it out. Roro don't.
Yeah.
So it was an accident. And then we would flash forward to the funeral, essentially, I'm assuming, it's a Shiva too?
It's a Shiva.
Yeah, a Shiva.
We find out that Mark is Jewish.
He's Jewish.
No inclination at all.
None.
So yeah, they have a Shiva. And they're all sitting in the common room, sitting, and his mother is having an emotional breakdown.
Yeah.
And then we find out that she completely and wholeheartedly blames Mark for his brother's death. And has no qualms about hiding it. She completely turns that love for her child into hate.
Yeah.
and says she wants her baby back, and her husband is trying his best.
Yeah.
But like most families of color, they have not sought help from a mental health practitioner.
No.
And then there's kind of like a little fast forward, because we kind of like watch Steven and his mom's relationship at that point, right? Or do we cut back?
No, well, I mean, because then we learned, like, when his birthday would come around, she wouldn't show up.
And I counted the candles on that first birthday scene. Mm-hmm. It was 9 candles.
Okay.
She blamed an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
And I was like, I literally wrote that down. I said 9 candles. She blamed an 8-year-old. Mm. And that hurt my feelings. Because I think about all the little kids that I know that are 8.
Yeah.
They cannot be held responsible for another life.
Yeah, no. It was an accident. I mean...
They can't be responsible for their own lives.
No. It's not like... It's the fact that she just kept saying, like, you intentionally, like, did it. Mm-hmm. You know, couldn't stand him. You always was jealous of him. Like, I mean, saying all of this to him, and I'm just like...
Like, obviously, she has mental illness.
Yes. I mean, clearly, she's broken, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like...
She's broken in a different way.
Yeah.
And no one is getting her the help that she needs. Mm-mm. And nobody's getting that baby out the house. No. They're letting him stay there with that.
Yeah.
So, then we cut to... Then back to Mark and Steven. Is that when we cut back to
well, okay, so it was another birthday that was happening. I think with Dad, did Dad give him a cake?
Dad got him a cake. It was when he turned 12.
12, okay. Mom semi showed up. She was clearly like started drinking. Mm-hmm. Yet again saying just how she blames him for everything. He gets mad and he, knocks something off the table and he runs upstairs. And then Steven's trying to see what's going on in the bedroom, and then Mark pulls him out. And it was like, we can't stay here. Mm-hmm. And then, because then we cut into, we see like an older Mark leaving the house. And his dad was like begging him to stay. He was like, I can't lose another son.
And this is when we found out he get enrolled in the military.
Yes, he enrolled in the military. He blamed his dad as far as like, he was supposed to protect me. Yeah.
He's like, you're supposed to fix it. And you didn't fix it. And his dad was really begging him like to stay. Yeah. He said, I can't lose another son. Yeah. And then Mark still left.
Yeah. Which, I mean, can you blame him?
Which we're assuming he didn't come back.
Yeah, I feel like that was probably the last time he saw Dad host them ever again. Mm-hmm.
In that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Steven's like still trying to figure out like, well, what led to this point? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And clearly something was about to happen even in that moment. And Mark knocked him out again. And then they ended up at the dig site where Layla's father was killed. Yes. And
we get to see him. We get to see Layla's dad. Yeah. He was dead. Yeah. We had to see him. Yeah. Nice looking man.
He was. I ain't gonna say I ain't know that. Yeah. But yeah. So, and then we saw how Kansu and Mark got in a relationship together. Ooh. Another trigger.
Addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic?
Baby, Mark was about to, end it all. Yeah. And Kansu was like, what a waste. And basically manipulated him and trapped him into doing his bidding, essentially. Yes. Steven told Mark that. And it was just one of those.
Oh, and we found out his partner's name.
Oh, yeah, wasn't it?
It was he was his old commanding officer. Yeah. So he was C.O. Bushman, which that is out of the comic book. Okay. His partner was Bushman. Yeah. But I don't think Bushman was a military person. Yeah. Based on the little steals I've seen, I don't think as a black person I like the portrayal of Bushman. But we just gonna let that go because I don't know enough. Oh, okay. Yes, because we learned like Mark had went AWOL in the military. They didn't like that, and so he got kicked out. And then the reason why he was doing the job in the first place is because he went to his old CO, Bushman. And of course, we all know how that go. We went left. And then he explained to Steven what happened. That whole situation of like, I didn't kill Layla's father. I was trying to help them.
But of course, we all got attacked, and then I was basically half dead. And then here comes Costa.
Yep.
So.
And then we're back in the office. Because Mark won't show us the room.
Oh, wait. But then we learned that everything going down on Earth now.
Well, I think that was... Well, hold on.
Yeah, no. Because then all of a sudden, they come back. Because everything starts shaking. They were like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yes.
And so we go back to our girl.
Tweet.
Thank you. Tweet. And she says there's so many, what was she saying?
She said there was a lot of souls being judged.
Unbalanced souls, yes.
Before their time.
Yes.
So there's a lot of souls being condemned to we'll just say the Egyptian version of hell.
Yeah.
It's mainly just sand, but they kind of trapped in the sand.
Yeah, and so
forever.
We learned it's Arthur. Clearly, he ain't got Ahmed out here, and she cutting up on Earth. Your girl is already cutting up. So they freaking out.
Money moves.
Tweety decided she's gonna help them because she likes them, but she said y'all still gotta balance y'all stuff out because if y'all don't balance it, and so they were gonna take the trail of. What's the name?
I forgot what they said the trail was, but she was going to use Osiris's door.
Yes, the gates of Osiris.
Which I believe Osiris was the one whose avatar put Khonsu in that door.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, she's like, Osiris not going to like this, but we finna use his gate. But you still got to be balanced to go through the gate.
Yes.
And so we see, then we cut back to the office.
No, not to the office. So Mark and Steven go back into the boat, inside the boat.
Okay.
Mark, the whole thing with Steven's like, we can just talk it out. I don't want to have to relive this. I don't want to do
yes, because she said they had to get those hearts balanced.
And Mark loses it. He's like, I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. Back with Arthur. Dr. Hero.
Give my baby Oscar Isaac his tings.
Yeah.
Give him all the things. Y'all can say what y'all want about Disney. You can say what you want about Marvel. You can say what you want about that man Kevin Feige. Have you ever seen him without the hat? I haven't. But they get these people and these folks act.
Baby.
When I tell you they act, we have come a long way from them first couple Marvel movies, okay? They act the house down. Lil Tom, I ain't never cried for a Peter Parker the way I cried for Tom. Okay? Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
This man went from being a crackhead to being one of my favorite.
Yeah, he won my heart. He really did. I was like, he won me. I was so many.
It's the jerk for me. Yeah, he's such an intentional jerk.
He got me.
And he got me. Like Oscar in that scene.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had to play off himself.
Yes. The whole time.
The whole time. Do you realize that most of the scenes was him by himself?
Yeah.
Talking to a imaginary hippo lady. Give him the things. Y'all should have gave Elizabeth. I think Elizabeth did get some of the things.
Yeah, she got it. Yeah.
But she should.
They always hating on the mainstream. And I'm like, y'all, like, if the girls are doing the work, give them.
Do not. They are outside of a superhero genre. Right now, they are just telling really good stories.
We have redefined.
Just like Black Panther.
This is, right.
Black Panther shit.
It's more than that. The story is not, let's go whoop a bad guy. It has depth. It's layers.
They are doing a way better job of breaking down the internal layers of those characters and what is their motivation to go out and risk their lives for other people. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you had superpowers and somebody rolling up telling something, well, I'm a snap half the people on Earth. Well, I'm just gonna leave Earth. Get in the spaceship, mama. We going. Like, girl, I'm sending mass text out. Like, hey, oh boy, probably like one stone away. I saw what he did to Cap and them. I'm about to go. We leaving at 5. Don't put in no notice at work. Your boss ain't gonna be here when you get back. Okay? If you decide you want to break up with them now, go ahead and just leave. Get your stuff. Get a couple clothes. We don't need no club clothes. And we're going to dip out. And we're going to stay in orbit for a good 6 months, like Fury been doing this whole time. And we're going to come back down after the dust and settle, and y'all still try to figure out what to do without half the population. Because me and
But you could have been your half, though. It didn't matter where they were.
No, he did it on Earth.
I know, but Peter and them wasn't on Earth, and they still disappeared.
Damn.
Told you.
I forgot about
Baby,
Peter.
if folks was not on Earth, yeah.
I forgot about Peter.
Peter. Who else went? What you call Quill?
Well, didn't nobody miss him.
I know, but I'm just saying he hadn't even been on Earth in years, and he still disappeared.
Okay, well
You had no choice but to put it in the work, baby.
Okay, well let's say I was Scarlet, right? And I had already unlocked my full potential. Then I just go to another universe. Come on, y'all.
Okay.
We're gonna build a new life. I just go to universe 2.0. Hey y'all, I'm the magical Negro. I got powers. This is
the little floating guy with the big head, the what if guy.
Yeah.
He would be like, girl, take your behind back over here.
And I'd be like, you take your behind over
you
here.
gotta say keep it balanced.
And I'd be like, all skin folks ain't skin folks. You balance it. You go over there and you take my place and you tell me if it's necessary.
Baby, you gotta everything.
I said, baby, you already got the dress on. You go over there and you be a black woman. You see what it's like.
Did you learn? He said everything has a place.
Okay, I will take yours. How about that? You ain't doing nothing but being nosy because you ain't helped nobody.
He tried.
You want me to sit there and be like,
he can't interfere with what's supposed to happen.
Oh man,
even though he got
sad.
everybody almost gone.
Okay, well go around there and don't do nothing. Go live it.
I'm not ready for this movie next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be traumatizing.
Okay, so we are back with Dr. Harrow. He has praised Mark for doing the work.
He's still ashy.
I don't know why I love this man.
I don't either.
I just love him. But no, he has given Mark his credit. He has praised him for doing the work, for getting it out there. He said that you can't hide again. And he asked him, do you think Mark created Steven to hide from all the bad things that Mark has done? Or did Steven create Mark to hide or like, for what his mother did to him?
Yeah.
And he was like, there's no progress without understanding.
Okay, I will give Arthur this. He drops gems.
Baby.
It's just hard for me to take him serious with them deacon cookout shoes on. Now, and then he low-key be having on a linen suit. It's like he just want electric slide away from a church picnic. And I can't take you seriously. Because you probably smell like Mad Dog.
I just, you know.
And you ashy.
Ethan?
The ingredients is there.
He worked his ass off this whole series. Everybody they put in the work, honey.
You know, I like Ethan Hawke. I just don't like Arthur.
I love Arthur.
Arthur
he
is
has
ashy.
gotten me on
How you
his
be ashy?
train.
How you be dry and greasy at the same time? How you be dry and greasy at the same
Arthur
time?
has yet to lie on this screen. I'm just putting it out there. He just been spitting facts and that's
Focus.
okay. So he has convinced Mark to go back and open up to Steven. So we're back in the bedroom of little Mark or Steven. We don't know yet because they kind of put the question up there. And so we see a scared child on the floor and she keeps calling him Mark. So this is Mark. And mom's like, open the door. And of course he doesn't want to. And then we see for the first time, Mark turns to Steven. Also, Steven noticed a poster on the wall that said, there's no danger. I messed up the whole line, but if Stephen Grant's around, essentially.
There's nothing to fear when Stephen Grant is here.
There you go. And this is when Stephen learned that he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Only in Mark's mind.
And then we find out this whole time, which we already knew, but apparently Stephen did not know he was not primary.
Yeah.
We knew, because it was just the way that Mark took control. It was just obvious that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Mark was the primary person and Stephen was somebody he carried, especially with Layla.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, Stephen didn't know. And then, of course, me being the Stephen stan that I am, my heart hurt. And because I was like, Stephen was created to avoid the pain.
Yeah.
Because Stephen wouldn't remember.
He wouldn't.
Any of the trauma.
Nope.
At all.
Mm-mm.
And he would turn into Stephen whenever his mom would beat him, or probably when she would berate him.
Yeah.
Or whenever anything painful happened.
Yeah.
Stephen would take over because he doesn't remember it. Mark still remembered it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so sad.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want my baby Stephen
I know.
to be a coping mechanism. I knew he was, but it was just like for him to find out.
Yeah, it was really heartbreaking.
What to cuddle him.
And then Mark dropped the bomb that Mama was dead. So Mark had received a phone call from his dad 2 months prior to where we are now. That his mom had passed away and that he was inviting him to the Shiva. Mm-hmm. And does cut back to our opening scene where we see Mark standing in the street. He had alcohol. He was just looking at the window and it was him looking into his mom's Shiva.
And his dad saw him and tried to get him to come inside. Mm-hmm. And Mark was like, no, I can't. Mm-mm. And all that trauma. Yeah. And even Mark was mad at himself because he couldn't. Yeah. He's like, after all this time, I can't. Like, you could just see him reliving all of the trauma over and over and over and over again. And then to go and sit for her Shiva. Because even though her body's not there for the Shiva, right? It's just,
I don't believe so.
Kind of like a family hour, right? So, but to think, like, to look at her picture and to know that she's not coming down the steps, or even for the bad stuff, she's not going to be around the corner to yell at you or
that's a lie. Beat you.
That's, oh, my heart. Woo.
Yeah.
I was, emotional damage.
I know, I'm trying so hard to cry, 'cause I'm just like, oh, that was a lot. Woo! That was a lot. I mean, just imagine, like, this woman who, like, clearly, like, you love, but, like, also, like, hate, too. You know what I mean? Who's like, in some ways have, like, brought you joy to a certain point, but also so much pain. And it's just, like, y'all ain't even had a chance to, like, talk it out.
Yeah. It was very triggering for me.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. It was very triggering for me. Yeah. I was like, just, as you can see, I thought I was writing on this line. Yeah. Y'all, there ain't nothing on this line. Yeah. I didn't write nothing. I just was doing this. The pen wouldn't even click. Yeah. I just was checked out.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then
it adds on when you have to see Stephen processing his mother's death.
Yes.
Because remember you said she was dead. You said it was something going on with the mama. Yeah. And I said, I thought maybe the mama was just somebody pretending to be his mama. To this day, we still don't know who he was calling, or maybe he was just calling
like a fake number.
Fake number because to cope.
Yeah, because even when and so before we kind of get to that scene on the street, and after Mark had just told Stephen has a breakdown. I forgot that moment. He's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to hear it. And so then he sees what Mark's been dealing with this whole time, and where Mark's been going, and that's with Dr. Harrow this all the time.
Every time that Mark would leave, we don't know necessarily, like the storyline with Stephen didn't pick back up, obviously. But Stephen would never be in the psych ward with Mark. So that's why Steven was confused when Mark was like, I'm just gonna go back to Dr. Harrow, and then Steven was like, Dr. Harrow, because he was never in that reality. He didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. And so Steven put himself there. He dragged Dr. Harrow for a little bit. That was a good time.
Yeah, that was fun.
He was like, what is this? And then, you know, when they were talking about his mom, Dr. Harrow was just kind of playing along with it, and that's when Steven all clicked that she was gone.
Yeah. And then so you have to think about the fact that Steven has been calling his mom every day as a result of Mark not processing his mom's death. 2 months. So for 2 months, this man has been calling this number, leaving a message in a horrible British accent because he could not process his mom's death.
Yeah.
And nobody knew. Because Steven, I think at that point, Mark just wanted to completely be done with life.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm just going to let Steven have at it.
Yeah.
And have this normal life.
Yeah.
Get this nice apartment. I'm going to live, when I'm in control, I'm going to live in the storage shelter. Like, it was just all these things. Like, you could see, like, Mark had really, like, disconnected himself from everything that meant something to him. That's why he served, like, with the divorce papers.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, like, in that time period of his relationship with Layla, how was he, like, how did they even, like, get to that point? What was his breaking point for him to, like, want to leave? You know, did Steven start to come out more? Like,
yeah.
Was it the phone call that, about his mom, and then that was like, okay, like, that's it. Like, I'm divorcing Layla now. Like,
yeah, I feel like the guilt is really what added to it. Because he felt like Mark has a hard time of letting things go. Yeah. Everything is his responsibility because of what happened with his brother. So now every single death that happens, if he was there for it or not there, it's his fault. Yeah. Because all he does is take in his head. Like all he does, all I do is kill people. That's all I'm good at.
But he's not that person.
But he's not. Because he's Steven.
I'm like, you a mercenary, but you're the nicest mercenary I ain't ever met.
That's the Steven in him.
Yeah, it's really sad to see how Mark, like, truly hates himself.
Yeah.
Like, he really hates himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you grow up from the age of 8.
Yeah, I mean, very true. When your mama wants you to
and no one truly loves you, because let's be clear. His dad loves him, but not enough to leave. No. Not enough to at least send him to go live with someone that wasn't going to tell him they hated him every day. Or not enough to get his mom committed. So, yeah. It was just like his dad chose to keep both of them instead of really making the best decision for him. So,
woo, yeah. It was a lot. And, you know, Steven really comforted Mark in that moment. Yeah. He was like, it wasn't your fault. None of this is your fault, you know. Oh, gosh, y'all had me crying in a minute.
And the fact that that means he knows it, because Steven is him. Yeah. And to know that you had to, like, literally, you know, they talk about this in therapy. Not to go on a tangent, but they talk about parenting your inner child.
Yes, that's exactly what that is.
And this is a literal, visual representation of parenting your inner child. The only thing that would have made it more on the nose would have been if Mark had shrunk back down to baby Mark.
Oh my gosh.
And Steven told baby Mark.
I think they even said on set, we can't do that.
At age 8.
When I tell you on the floor, like, you know, like, I'm already on the verge of just, like, tears. Like,
I'm gonna put this out there. Whenever we do work with Marvel, or whoever decides to give us the most coins, because don't think we ain't gonna sell out. We are. But we broke. So, just know.
You do it for a check.
You doing way less. You want way more for way less.
Okay.
We see you. But let's just be clear. We're not going to be professional if you ever throw me on set and something like this is going down.
Oh, no.
I am leaving the room.
Yeah.
It don't matter how much therapizing
baby
I get done. What kind of medication y'all put me on? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
Okay. I will not be okay.
No. I'm saying, if they would have put a child in there, but I would have to turn it off. Like,
Could you imagine?
I couldn't do that.
Could you imagine talking to baby Kristen?
Let's think about all the things about Oscar had to do. I mean, I know this role. You know, you heard like when Michael B. Jordan was talking about doing Killmonger. I just know this one.
Cause even with Killmonger, there was trauma.
Yeah.
Based around your parents.
Yeah.
Cause people don't even talk about the fact that his daddy was planning the heist to break his mama out of jail. That was the whole reason his daddy stole them guns.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about that. But to see that his trauma was caused by it was family trauma.
Yeah.
Okay. Ain't a person alive ain't got no family trauma.
Okay.
But to see it in this context,
yeah,
from the if we had stayed with Killmonger as a child and watched him grow up and see his progression, yes, we would be like, yes, you need to take over Wakanda because your cousin is soft and he don't know what he talking about. We would have. No. But we didn't do that because we started out with Chad. And you can't start me out with Chad and then make me go against Chad. This is Jackie Robinson. You want me to go against Jackie Robinson?
I am Jackie Robinson. Okay, let's stop. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I just, the therapy along for this.
I had to pause.
Yeah.
I had to pause because when Steven started nurturing him.
Yes.
And saying you were a child.
Yeah. You
did not know. Right. It is not your fault.
It was an accident.
Because that meant Steven had to forgive him, which ultimately means he forgave himself.
Yeah. Oh.
We dropping gems today. Because
like
we know something today, baby. If ain't nothing else we know, it is trauma.
Baby.
We're your current experts on the trauma. Now next week we may go back to not knowing what we're talking about.
We'll go back to our foolishness. We promise.
This week we digging. We gonna dive in.
Okay, cause baby, I was like, it's a therapy session. I didn't know I needed today. Didn't ask for it, but I'm literally marking this situation. So
was looking up online therapy after this. It's like, I wonder how many people went to the therapy sessions this week. Was like, can we talk about the episode?
Baby, what about it triggered you? Well, let me
tell you.
What you want to start?
From beginning to end, I was triggered.
Baby, I was like, ask somebody next time, cause
they should have given us a disclaimer.
Yeah, cause that was a lot.
You had a brother, your brother died in front of you, your mama blamed you for your brother's death, then she beat you and told you she hated you, she wouldn't even come down to the family room to blow out candles with you, your daddy kept you in that environment, you went out to the military at 18, you got discharged because you mentally broken inside, so you probably didn't go AWOL, Steven was just taking over.
Literally.
And
then you turn to somebody you trusted.
Then you turn to somebody you trust to help you find a job so you can take care of yourself. Ooh. And he ends up making you become a missionary, mercenary.
Yeah.
Woo, brain. Mercenary. So then you start killing people you don't know.
Yeah.
Because this person who was telling you to kill people you don't know under the government's eyes.
Ooh.
Then you start killing people you don't know, and then you go on this gig, and then your homeboy get greedy, and he don't even want to share the money with you, and so then you try to save the people, because you know that they ain't did nothing but come to work that day, and he shoot you.
Yeah, and then you turn to another person who take advantage. Not even a person, an entity.
Somebody else comes to you and offers you reprieve, and healing, and life, and revenge, and you're so weak and broken at that point, you say yes. And now you killing even more people off the guise that this is what is the right thing to do. Because it's all ultimated by him trying to right his wrongs of the past.
Ooh.
ADHD me.
I feel paper, baby. And so that's today's episode. Because we ain't even done.
No, we not.
That's the part that sent me. It's like, you thought, okay, we got beat up all episode long. They said, oh, baby, we ain't done. Because while we're going through all this, like, healing and, like, nurturing, Arthur still acted up out there.
Oh, Arthur is murking hoes, okay?
Baby.
He was like, dead.
Baby. Arthur, like, we gonna kill him before they even get a chance to go through all of this. Like,
yes. Arthur was like, send him to the sand. This is how the little souls were like, pew.
Baby, left and right. Tweet was like, baby, I can't help no more.
She was like, this ain't that time. This ain't no, I ain't got no card for this.
She said, I'm done.
She said, I'm just filling in.
Baby.
She had big substitute energy, like substitute teacher energy.
I was like,
She was like, the teacher didn't leave me instructions for this, baby. I can't help you with this. Don't bring this worksheet up here.
Okay.
That is not on the list she got. I can't grade this. Baby, your teacher on maternity leave, child, she ain't say nothing about this.
Okay, that Sweet said, I'm out. Y'all ain't get it together. Because after all of that, we still wasn't balanced. I was like, come on. So she said, I can't help y'all no more. And
she said, your scales never balanced. Sorry.
Peace. And we were just like, wait, what? And she's like, so now the sand's coming to get you.
Yeah, she's like, I was really rooting for you guys.
She wasn't trying to help nobody.
I was like, girl,
she said the gates closed. I don't even know what's going on over here. Like, I can't do no more.
If I'm gonna mind my business was a goddess. It is Tweet had got her braids done, baby. She had her nails done. She said, well, I'm gonna read these. They told me to be here at 9 o'clock. I got here at 9. They told me I had to, by the time we got to the door, I was off. Yeah. And she said, I'm gonna go ahead and clock out.
Baby.
They didn't tell me what to do. I don't do overtime.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock on the dot.
I'm filling in. I am just a fill-in. This is not my normal gig.
Peace out.
Tweet was like, okay, you know what? I have to go. Right. My lunch is here. Mm-hmm. I gotta head back on up to the Overboy.
She really ditched them. Like, she was like, I can't do no more for y'all. I tried. We ain't went another direction. Mm-hmm. I ain't bought y'all some time. I brought the
instructions and I told you what to do. I read it to you multiple times. I mean, she was really giving Beyonce and Coachella energy. Like, you know, I gave my notes.
Right.
I see that my notes have not been applied. Right. I don't see a reason for me to provide more notes when you have not applied the previous notes.
So come back to me when y'all do that. And then we'll try
good luck, babe. You know, she was just like, I'm gonna go to the break room. Like, she literally was just like, bye.
Peace.
And I was like, I must simply stand.
Yeah, I was the queen of this episode.
99% sure she was not voiced by a black woman. I mean, there are black British women, but I just feel like she had strong black woman energy at work. Like, at a job, she, you know, like, it's not worth leaving, but it's not worth committing 100%.
Exactly.
She was like, it pays the bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, it keeps me at goddess status. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just fill in for the girls every now and then. Mm-hmm. I show up when it's time for a soul or two. You know, because people be dying every day, bro. I can't do this all the time. Like, you know.
She was tired.
And then she was like, it's too much going on. You got all these people coming down. It's the boat steering. Yeah. And she was like, you know what? What I'm not going to do, get this here and get sand in it.
So she said bye. That was there. I was like,
Tweet is me. I am she.
I would have liked to end this session with Dr. Hero before we did all that.
That's on you and your brain, bro.
I wanted him to congratulate us real quick. Be like, good job. You finally did it. Like, no.
Wanted that man's approval.
I love Dr. Hero though. I feel like we went through a whole journey together. Arthur put in the work to get Mark to talk.
Arthur is up there killing folks.
You're right. Arthur still is.
That is a figment of his imagination.
I cannot wait to hear the lines that Arthur's gonna say this next episode. It is going to be legendary.
It's gonna be along the lines of what did that do? Bring you back to me.
I'm telling you, that man is becoming like my favorite villain of all time. You know, I love a good villain.
He's a villain in the loosest sense.
I'll take it.
Only because he killing people. Like,
yeah, you're very true.
The rest of it is just...
I don't know. His heartlessness came out, though. Like,
oh, yeah. He was like...
He was like, I can't say nobody what you say. I felt that, too.
Let's just say, if we were in music production, I would have paid the licensing. I would have been like, hey, I know y'all got it. $1 billion industry.
Right.
Don't save her.
She don't want to be saved, baby. Oh, they could have did it in the Arabic version, too. That's put us on this. They put us on.
I don't speak Arabic, but get it. Hard H.
That would have been a great time.
A lot of sitar.
I would have fell out.
I would have been like,
y'all need to do that next time, cause that's off the theme song right there.
Pay us.
Period.
We're putting it out there in the universe. Hire us, Marvel. Let us do the official recap podcast for all of your shows and not talk about anything about it.
This is just remember the purpose that like we really don't know nothing, but
we don't.
But we know trauma,
and we're not trying to. That's the sad part.
Yeah, but I feel like we've been.
We watch our individual shows and then we don't discuss them together. We just come on up in here with our notes and talk about the stuff that we liked.
Yeah, we just put it out there.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
We're available.
Shoot your shot.
Hey, never had no problem. Let me slide them DMs. Mickey, what's going on?
In the DMs. It go down in the DMs. Hey, okay. Girl, let's roll with this episode, cause woo!
Trying to laugh my way through the pain.
Baby.
These tears about to come.
So, that girl tweet dipped down on the sky. She really was like, peace. Them saying people came out of nowhere. New York, Taboo, I know I missed the name, and Dubai. Baby, they came up out. They were like, we were waiting to come. So,
they were like, say this.
So, Mark tried to fight him off. He lost. Steven, he put in the work. Let me tell you how Steven really redeemed himself for me. He got that little boat. He said, I
said, drown the boat, Steven! Drown the boat! I literally wrote, I said, drown the boat, Steven!
He grabbed that little silhouette. He said, not my friend, Mark.
Steven was like, he was like bagging up a low rider in between at the Walmart. He was like,
he said, you know. So he bought Mark some time. Mark still couldn't fight him. Long story short, you know, Steven grabbed that bag and went to town. He became a mercenary. And boom.
Because Steven said, if I am you. Because he was like, you got this. And he was like, well, if you got this, that means I got this too. I'm going to go. And I was like, yes,
Steven really believed in it. Steven believed in himself for the first time, really.
I said, you go fight, Steven.
I know this first time Steven actually wanted to fight. And I was so proud of him.
You know I was excited.
Because we almost saw that one time when he threw that little baby punch, he was like, all right, I'm out.
Why are you bringing up the past?
My bad. Anyway, I'm just saying, Steven's progress. What did Doc say? There can be no progress without understanding. So we gotta understand, Steven came from the bottom, baby. From the bottom.
Started from the bottom, now we here.
What?
Started from the bottom, now the whole team. Yeah.
And now he up here. He fighting with the big leagues. I mean, Steven still can't fight, but he put in the work. He beat them little sad people up. He was like, Brr. I was like, okay, not the murderer coming out of you. The mercenary.
I saw the potential.
Well.
See, don't nobody want him till you want him.
Steven's still get on my nerves, but I love him. He's that annoying, like, little brother who just get on your nerves. Yeah.
Continue.
Well, Steven, he really did put in work, but of course he's saying people will not stop until they get what they want. And so, as Mark is about to get pulled over board, Steven sacrifices himself and knocks the guy out. But in the process, he falls off the boat. and into the sand.
Steven!
That killed. That hurt my heart. I ain't even gonna lie.
Lord, Steven, why they take you, Lord? Lord, take off instead.
They will, hopefully.
I was a mess.
I know you were. I was really upset. I was like, Disney, you did not have to do that. I was like, how are we not balanced at this point? After we had went through everything, because we had more to go through. But I feel like we hit all the main points that we should have been balanced.
He was never going to be balanced because he was splitting himself in two. And I made that realization when Steven went over
up in here crying.
Went over the boat. And then I was I knew we was not going to be able to be balanced without Mark being his whole self.
I know. I was like, he had to let Steven go.
And it made me sad because now he has to do life alone without Steven. And he has Steven his whole life.
I'm not doing this with you. I'm not finna cry on this camera. I'm not doing it. You literally are taking it. I was so upset. I'm really trying not to have like an emotional breakdown. Like a Kim ugly cry. Where I'm like, okay, I gotta click myself. Do the little. And Mark ends up in the field of tweeds.
Reeds.
Freeze, my baby. Reeds. I'm sorry. I said tweeds. My bad.
Just a bunch of little tweed jackets.
Right. Well, I thought they were like little tweeds. Some people make tweed jackets.
Yeah, but no, it's a field of reeds in the Egyptian lore.
Yes.
He made it to Aru.
A piece. Ooh.
And it was so beautifully shot. Mark looked beautifully confused. Because he was just like, what? And then we was like,
I just feel like,
first of all, imagine tears just falling down my face.
I'm trying not to cry right now.
Thoroughly drenched Kleenex. Snot. And then I don't know if my nose is running from allergies because it's almost time for my medicine to stop working, or if it is the tears, or if it is just depression. And then there's this beautiful scene of this beautiful man in white standing there in the field of reeds.
In peace.
And then the screen cuts to black. And once again, we do not have a post-credit scene.
Man, now I was looking too. I was like, y'all gotta give us something after that.
Even Loki gave us one.
Baby, just one.
Like, even Loki. And they do nothing but add confusion and violence every week.
Okay. I'm really trying to keep it together because, as you can see, this episode was an emotional mess. It was beautiful, you know, from start to beginning. Just going through your childhood traumas, actually learning to face them, actually talking it out, admitting them, learning to forgive yourself. And sometimes letting go, you know, parts of yourself that in a way can hold you back. Even if you love those parts of yourself, you know? I'm dying. Oh my gosh.
Someone please call 911.
Okay. I'm trying to keep it together. Okay. y'all see the ugly Kim face right now. Okay.
Oh man. Oh man, my face is really soft.
Let's go.
Shout out to Fenty.
Period.
But
you know, and just like finding peace.
Oh my God, that inner peace that only you can give yourself, because no one else can give you the peace that only you can get. Knowing everything is within you the whole time to be successful.
This is such a shit show. Oh, God.
Why did we do this?
Professional people. Professionals. Okay. I'm gonna need some tissue.
Happy. Let me slide the screen.
God.
Oh Lord.
Just cried it off.
Steven!
Baby.
Look what you did to me, Steven!
So I don't know what's gonna happen next week. Because we still have so much to talk about. But I hope we done. I can't do this no more. I can't do another week of just crying and being upset. Gosh.
Damn
What's your predictions for next week? I mean, give us something.
I mean, besides the fact that I found a new therapist,
Gosh.
I don't know. Let me make it back in the frame.
I know. I just. Okay.
This episode is not sponsored by Kleenex.
It need to be though. Oh my gosh.
But it could have been. You too can erase the tears of your personal trauma triggered by a show you watch weekly and recap with your friend. It's Kleenex.
Oh gosh. Okay.
This is actually not even a box of Kleenex. This is the Target brand.
That's good brand.
But Kleenex, it could be.
It could be.
Y'all.
Kleenex. Okay. Whew. Okay.
Man. I'm proud of myself. I did not.
We gotta do what Mark did.
I fought the tears back.
But I was fighting
That
hard.
hit you hard though.
It
like,
did. Whew. I was like, oh.
1-2 step.
Baby. Okay. All right. We're here.
Yeah, so overall, Mark did a very intense ayahuasca trip.
Yeah.
And now he is in the field of reeds. We have no idea where we're going from here. Obviously, this is an introductory series, so we know he's coming back.
Right.
But my prediction is that in some kind of way, Mark is going to free Kansu.
Yeah.
And if Mark doesn't free Kansu, Layla does. Yeah, because we have not went back to Earth. We do not know what is going on in life outside of Arthur, like Merc and pop, 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 pop. So we don't know if Layla, because like Mark said, Layla's safe for now. Because you gotta remember, Arthur didn't know Layla was in there. Because Layla hid. I mean, the girl can hide.
Baby, she good for that.
And so we don't know if Layla frees Kansu or finds out how to free Kansu. We didn't even know she knew about Kansu until Steven told her. So, I mean, she knew, but we didn't know if she knew. And
they've been making an emphasis about the whole Layla Kansu possible.
Yeah, so it could be that maybe Layla picks up the MoonKnight mantle and Mark gets his rest.
I'm not ready for that.
I don't think they would do that.
I don't know. They've been about women empowerment.
I mean, yes, but they could do that. But I don't think they would get rid of the Mark character because you spent too much time building and unbuilding him.
Yeah, very true.
And also, Oscar Isaac is very expensive. So why would you not put in all? And then they usually sign contracts for a certain amount of time. So
that's fun though. That would be a fun twist. Like I don't know how they would do it, but that'd be real fun.
It might be both of them.
Not a MoonKnight. I would love to see Layla suit. I just want to see her slay.
She looks so good.
I just want to see her slay.
But yeah, and I feel like that's why they gave us so many so many sneak peeks of the Moon Zaddy, because we might not get it.
I know. I miss Moon Zaddy.
Ugh.
That suit. I just want to look at that suit
one
more time.
Suit, costume design.
One more time.
That suit. Even if you took the head off.
Yeah.
That suit. Oh. It is just something about a man in a well-tailored suit.
Yeah.
And emphasis on tailored. Notice I didn't say ash your ankles out with no socks in your dress shoes. Notice I said a tailored suit with a silk tie. I had the cleanest knot. Had the little tie clip. Oh, the lapels. Ah.
Well, I don't know. Somebody else reading the comments somewhere. They were like, this next episode better be an hour and 30 minutes long. Because we got so much to talk about. Because yes, it's all about Mark.
There's a lot of, like, it's almost like when old girl killed Cain and branched off the multiverse. It's like that. And it's just like, but there are so many loose ends we did not tie up.
So many. I'm excited for Doctor Strange because hopefully we might get like some more tie-in back together a little bit more. Like, I would like that.
I don't think Doctor Strange is going to answer any of Moon Knight's questions.
Well, not Moon Knight. I'm talking about with our other series and stuff. I would love to start seeing that.
Yeah, because them first two just broke everything.
Baby, I need y'all to talk about it.
Wanda started it and low-key, he doggone sure finished it.
Baby.
He said, oh, you want to destroy the fabric of time.
Name a better pill. And I cannot wait to see how they play out. Because it's just so many questions. Okay. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen next week. We might be crying again. I don't know.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, we definitely going to be crying again. But, I mean, probably it won't be as, like, traumatic. Let's hope. I don't know.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Well, you know what? I was reading a little magazine downstairs. And Oscar was on it. And,
love him.
They really was like, the whole show is just about the emphasis on like mental health.
It really is.
Yeah, and just showing all stages of it and just, putting a new like perspective on it. They really did that.
So I guess the question that we should ask people to consider before watching the next episode is, what would you do if you could forgive yourself for the things that you hate yourself?
Okay, and we're done. All right.
So then you too can cry on your couch or floor or in the closet, in the bathroom, wherever your crying spot is. Have at it. And don't forget to pick up your Kleenex.
I'm finna go book my appointment with Dr. Hero.
You ain't gonna get healed that way. Sponsored by Kleenex. Jeez. That's it.
That's it. I ain't got nothing else to get out of
This
there.
has been another episode of Just Talking and Crying with Lisa Love and CJ.
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
We're fine. It's fine. See y'all later.
Bye.
I'm turning this camera off. Hell no.